Onorato and Miller with you here across News Channel 13's social media, also on TV every single weekend. Happy to be with you. It's Chris, it's Ash. We've got a lot to do this week. No guests, all us. There's a lot to talk about.
Buckle in. Whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I mean, for them.
Oh,
it's good
I see.
For us.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's so good for them.
Yeah, we've got a lot to do here. Caitlin Clark is not only not on the Olympic roster, she's not going to be showcased at WNBA All-Star Weekend in terms of the skills competitions. Big miss by the league by not really almost forcing her to do that. We'll get into that. All-Star Weekend, if you will, for Major League Baseball was a hit on some and a miss on others. We'll talk about the hideous uniforms that baseball insists on putting players in each and every single Midsummer Classic. Bronny James had a good game. It's being celebrated, and all of a sudden, a lot of people are throwing money on him to win Rookie of the Year. They're out of their minds. What else is on your mind, Ash?
I don't know. Oh. You tend to take all of the things and then
we've got
hand it over to
NFL
me.
Training camps opening up. We're talking about quarterback contracts. A wide receiver wants out of San Francisco.
We've got a game to play.
We do?
Yeah, we're going to play a game today.
Oh, okay. We have a game.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Alpenhaus, Sandy Heck, Katie Osborne, Marcella's, Bev's, Navas, Saratoga Casino, and Performance Industrial. Shout out Karen and Bill Miller. We will have our Dirty Difficult Done segment coming up here in a little bit. Sam is on board. I love it. He wants to know, am I just back from a camping trip? Is it the hat? Maybe it's the hat.
Hat, glasses. He's got sleep hair because he takes naps these days.
Yeah. Actually doesn't look that bad.
It's a little crazy.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you wore the hat.
Then the hat goes back on.
Yeah.
I am not a camp. I'm a happy camper. I'm not a camper.
Are you a happy camper? I mean, not in the literal sense of the word. You're not happy when you're camping because you don't camp. But
I think I'm a generally positive, happy person.
You are.
I am not a camper.
Yeah.
Have never been. Will never be.
Nope.
I just don't see it happening. I don't understand the enjoyment of it. Sleeping on the ground in a nylon enclosure.
I don't like bugs, so I have a hard time with camping. I like fires, fire pits, s'mores. I like that.
You can do those things
correct
while staying in a nice cabin.
Yeah, you can't have fires inside.
All right,
cabins,
but you have a little fire pit
outside, and the mosquitoes get me. A lot of grass, bug bites. I'm out on it.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Again, you're on the ground.
Some people bring like air mattresses. I could glamp. I could be a good glamper. Happy glamper.
I could glamp a little bit, probably. All right, the All-Star game here. We won't spend a ton of time on this because we're already into Major League Baseball's second half of the season. But a quick thought on the Major League Baseball All-Star game. The National League won last year. Mm-hmm. The first time in a decade that had happened. The AL had won 9 straight, and now it's 10 of 11 for the American League. And it's funny, I fell asleep when the game was 3-3. And
as did I.
Oh, okay.
Because I fell asleep a few innings later. It was still 3-3.
So then I wake up and I see the final 5-3.
Yeah.
And I think, same old National League, literally one hit accounted for their 3 runs. And that was Ohtani's homer in the whatever inning that was. And that's all this league stinks when it comes to scoring runs in the dang All-Star game. The lineup and this is why I was always banging the drum that it was the dumbest idea in sports to make this game mean something.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you have fans vote for the starters. Mm-hmm. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. And so you look at the lineup and you think, well, they should probably get some hits. They did. They out-hit the American League. The American League just came up with bigger hits. So anyway, I don't know. Do you care that the AL's won 10 of 11 here? Does that mean anything to you?
No, I mean, listen, still one of the best moments of the game was Ohtani's home run because it felt like it was a little bit more of his coming out party. It was his first big moment in an all-star game, and he's been the best player and the most celebrated, player in baseball over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I think that was really cool to see. But it's a hard game you're facing a different pitcher every inning, if not every 2 or 3 two batters. Like our guy Jeff Hoffman, I mean, he came in to see one batter, and it's still cool that he got in, but
he got him out.
It's hard to manage that game, number one, because you're trying to get every player in. You want that moment to be special, and yet it's managed so differently than a regular baseball game. So I understand why it's not baseball in its purest form, which is why I don't know that number, not 10 of 11, really says much of. I mean, it
says
does
something.
It does, but I don't know that it's as true to the dominance of, listen, who wins the World Series? That's far more important than who wins the All-Star game.
Yeah. Okay. Which leads us to this.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Karen and Bill Miller, where there's never a job that's too dirty or too difficult for their team at Performance Industrial to get it done. Okay, I am done. I am done with those atrocious, hideous all-star game uniforms. The Home Run Derby Monday night, the players wore, which I didn't mind the hats. I know you didn't love them, but I didn't mind.
I liked them.
Oh, okay.
I
You
really
said something
liked
about
them.
them you didn't like.
I didn't love the star, but if you took the star off, I loved the hat.
Okay.
I thought it was cool.
So the players are wearing their actual team uniforms, and they look great. And there's always something, I've said this since I was a kid. The white home uniforms always look like a brighter white during the All-Star game. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea, but they look so good. And they looked really good Monday night. And then on Tuesday, they came out and wore these. The National League wasn't terrible.
But it wasn't great.
It was a black with a blue and some pink.
It looked a little bit like those crazy Marlins uniforms on occasion.
And the American League came out in this sand looking with red. It was terrible.
Neon.
And
they both had neon.
I understand the whole purpose behind it is to get fans to buy more gear and garbage. And okay, but have the players wear them during the Home Run Derby. The ratings are probably better in the Home Run Derby anyway. So have the players wear them then, and let them wear their actual uniforms during the game. And maybe I'm making a counterpoint here, and it may not be completely fluent, but my thought is, by putting players in their actual team uniforms, it allows fans who are new to the game to identify, oh, that's Bryce Harper. I think I like him. Oh, he's a Philly. Okay. I know Shohei Ohtani fine, but lesser name guys. Oh, he plays for the Pirates. He plays for the Royals. He plays for the Guardians. Almost said the other team. It brings more association to people who are casual fans. Now, I say the ratings might be better for a Home Run Derby, and they probably are. And so maybe then the argument should be made that the players should be wearing their home uniform. Just let them wear their home uniforms.
There are only 8 guys playing in that.
Correct.
So it's not. So your argument still stands. And I don't disagree. Listen, there were guys who played in the All-Star game who came into pitch. I'm like, I don't know who that guy is.
There was a lot of that.
I don't know who that guy is. Unless I haven't watched as much baseball
Even
this year.
guys coming off the bench, and you were like,
Yeah. I haven't watched as much in the way of baseball this year as I have in past years because of my job change. But there were quite a few who I was like, don't know that guy.
Yeah. All right, let's look ahead to the second half here now. Teams to beat in each league, and then we can talk about whether or not we think the Yankees can rediscover what made them so good in the spring before the weather got warm. Your team to beat in the American League is?
No one. I don't have it. I don't think there's a scary team in the American League. Okay. I'll say the Yankees because I think they'll be better in the second half. I don't imagine that they're going to play as poorly as they did. Their pitching was so good in the first half without Garrett Cole. Now Garrett Cole is back. I think they figure that out. And that lineup is too good not to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a guy named Aaron Judge. Oh, and by the way, Juan Soto. And we saw those two in the All-Star game. They're fun, by the way.
Mic'd up.
I feel like they're in love. Like
that's nice.
They're best friends. And it's not taken long at all. It's very nice to see. I'm going to say the Yankees because I don't think there is a scary team in the AL. I really don't.
Yeah. I think it's Baltimore. I think the team to beat is Baltimore.
I mean, the young talent is there.
Yes.
It's not experienced.
And I like Corbin Burns as an ace.
Yep.
And I think the Orioles understand the window is opening. And I think that organization will recognize just because we are ascending doesn't mean we will stay at the mountaintop forever. The window is, yes, it's opening, but it can close quickly. So I think they'll be aggressive at the trade deadline, and that's why I'm going to take Baltimore to be the team to beat in the American League. How about the NL for you?
Isn't it so weird to say?
I know.
I'm not getting used to it. I'm getting used to them being good. I don't know that I'm getting used to them being the team to beat in the AL.
Yeah.
In the NL for me, I'm not going to go with the team with the best record because that's too easy. So I'm just going to go with who I think a lot of people think would be the best team in baseball, and that's the Dodgers. Because I think the Dodgers are going to get healthy. They're going to get more healthy. They're going to get guys back, and that will ultimately, hopefully for them, bring them back to where they should be. But the Phillies are good.
It's Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Phillies are good.
The Dodgers don't have the pitching. Philadelphia has been able to, as you said, put up the best record in baseball, and that's while guys like Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, and Bryce Harper have all missed significant time. Alec Boehm is having a career year, obviously, and so, and in spite of all that, or on top of all that, you've got Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Aaron Nola. I mean, this is maybe the best rotation in all of baseball. So even if the Dodgers, to your point, get healthy, they still don't have the pitching. They will be aggressive at the deadline. I have no doubt about that. But it's Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia. All right, let's take a quick time out here on Onorato and Miller. When we come back, Caitlin Clark is not in the three-point shootout. What are we doing? I have banged on NBA stars forever for not stepping up and being part of the dunk contest when they should be. This is on Caitlin Clark now. We're back right after this.
Experience the freedom of the open road with a new RV from Alpenhaus during our red, white, and blue sales event. Alpenhaus is your ultimate destination for all your RV needs. So whether you're hitting the highway or craving an outdoor adventure, we have you covered. Right now, we have travel trailers as low as $153 a month and save thousands on fifth wheels starting at $343 a month. Shop online anytime at alpenhausrv.com or visit us in Amsterdam and Saratoga. Alpenhaus RV, your total camping outfitter for 60 years.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bev's, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bev's. At the end of the day, if you walk in your stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Okay, Ash, the WNBA regular season is on a break, and it goes so quickly. They play few games because they don't have a lot of teams. I mean, it's like almost every night, it's like the Fever and Sky are playing one another again.
Or the Fever and the Sun. It does seem like they recycle pretty often.
So the season is a correct and appropriate length, I would say. And so the regular season is on a break now because of the Olympics. So you put the All-Star game in there, and we get the WNBA All-Stars against Team USA. Now, Sabrina Ionescu said, "Thanks, no thanks. I'm at Team USA camp. I'm focused on the Olympics."
At least that's a good excuse.
No doubt. But apparently, Caitlin Clark was invited to participate in the three-point shootout.
That she was.
And she said no. we need to do something with player contracts where the league can almost force a player into this unless there is a documented injury.
But would happen. Like, oh, just tell him I can't play.
I want to see it. I need a doctor's note. You missed 3 straight days of work. Now we need a doctor's note.
We know how that works.
You want to skip out on the 3-point contest? I need a doctor's note. And this upsets me because this is a prime opportunity for the league to showcase one of its best talents and to continue to grow in the consciousness of fans. And Clark says no. So it's first of all, it's bad on Clark for not saying yes. And then secondarily, it's bad on the league to not have some kind of fail-safe to where you can push players of a certain stratosphere to participate in these things.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute. And she should be playing in it. I do think that. But I think listen, this year and I'm not going to say the league hasn't been kind to her, but in a lot of ways, the league has not been kind to her as a whole, whether it's players on other teams and media critics. It has not been a seamless transition. And I don't think, to be very honest, that she's deserved so much of that vitriol that has been thrown at her. At what point does she deserve to say, you know what? I'm the star of the show, and I'm not going to play in your show. I've done enough for this league. The ratings are absurd. They're playing the All-Star game on a Saturday night at 8:30 on ABC. Like, I can't remember. I said to you, I can't remember the WNBA being this popular since, like, we were watching Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper back in the day.
And it wasn't even that popular
Probably
then.
not,
It
but
was
I
just
remember
new.
watching it. It has not been that way in a very long time, if ever. And I know we can have the argument it's because of Caitlin Clark. It is for no other reason. There are other players who have contributed, but it is because of Caitlin Clark that they have sold out every arena that they've played in all year long. It's the first time it's ever happened for most teams.
They've had to play in bigger arenas.
And I'm not saying she doesn't deserve criticism, but she's a rookie, and so much of it feels like it's just hatred to be hateful, which I hate that because it's such a part of this world.
That's America now.
Yeah, I get it. But
more
at what
popular
point,
to hate something than to like something.
Sure. But at what point does she deserve to say, you know what, I'm good. I'm cool. I'm going to take a few days rest. You do your thing. You think everyone else is so great in this league? Well, then they can do the 3-point shootout. They can do the skills competition. You see how that goes.
She said she would prefer to focus on the game itself than the skills stuff. But
right. And it's not like she's not playing.
I know. Shouldn't it be the athlete mentality, though, to say,
to do it?
You know what? I'm the most popular player in the league, but the players in the league don't seem to love me. I'll go out there and beat them all.
Do you think
there's that twinge of fear that if I really struggle,
that's where I think
that's going to be, the headlines will be beyond the game itself. It will just be that I struggled in the 3-point contest and whoever else beat me, and I was going to talk. I don't know. But
do you think that's it, though? Like, she's gotten so much crap all year about everything she's done, good or bad. Do you think it's like, you know what, I'm not even going to bother? Because if I go out and shoot 3 for 20 or whatever I'm never going to hear the end of it. Like, I'm better off just playing in the game.
Which, is this on the record? No, but it's long been my theory, which is why LeBron James has never done the dunk contest, because he's afraid of losing. It's not, I might get injured, get out of my face. It's a fear of losing. That's what it is. It's not being willing to embrace the pressure and still, right, mentally have the maturity to say, even if I lose to Zach LaVine or Aaron Gordon or Blake Griffin or Nate Robinson, I'm still the best player on the planet. That dunk contest doesn't define my greatness. And yes, there will be yahoos out there who use it as a way to kind of chip away at my resume, but those people don't matter. Right. I'm still the best player on the planet. Caitlin Clark is still the most popular player in the league, whether or not she wins the 3-point shootout or not. Look at what Sabrina Ionescu did last year in terms of elevating awareness of how good some of these female basketball players are when she went toe-to-toe with Steph Curry. That was fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? She lost.
Right.
But there was still so much to be gained. And the same is still true here. Even if Clark were to lose, Ash, there's still so much to be gained.
Yeah. I don't think it's about losing. I think it's about being really bad. Like if it's a really bad performance, not just losing. But my thing is, like, if Sabrina Ionescu beat Steph Curry, nobody's going to be out there saying she's a better shooter than Steph Curry. That's not how it goes. It's just going to be that she can play on the same level. She can compete at the same, game in the same way as Steph Curry. Listen, she's not shooting against people who are, she's not being guarded by men who are probably faster than her. And that's why it levels the playing field. But people would never go out and say, even if she beat him, that she's a better shooter.
I would have watched the 3-point shootout.
I
this
for
weekend.
sure would have watched it.
I will not now.
Well, yeah.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
You cut me right off.
Sorry.
That's all right.
There was that brief window, and I thought, okay,
I got to be better.
I'll roll it.
I got to be better at foreseeing that happening. We're sticking on the WNBA train here, and I saw this report, and I turned it into a question because I don't know the answer, but we can both say how we feel. The WNBA is getting a $200 million a year rights deal through what the NBA has agreed to. Is that dirty?
You're talking about this is a broadcasting deal. This is a
Yep.
Media rights deal.
Is that dirty for them, or do you think it's fair? Because their executive director is saying that it's not enough, that they're worth more than that, because it turns out to be like $2.2 billion, which I think is a lot of money over 11 years.
What's the NBA media rights deal?
Probably a good deal.
I think it's $70 billion. I think that's the number.
So if you proportion it out, it's probably about right. But it's a $140 million increase, which this is where, this is kind of where I had the problem with it. I'm going to say it's not dirty because $140 million, we're making progress. And I think when you're making progress and you're doing better, you're bringing attention to the sport, you're making more money for the sport, $140 million more than you got last year, or it will be next year at this time, than you got the last time. So at some point you have to be happy with significant progress. And that is significant progress. $140 million a year, that's progress. And I think that's all you can ask for. So no, I don't think it's dirty. I do understand that it's so much less than the NBA, but you've got to take steps to get there.
So the NBA deal, yes, is $76 billion over 11 years. And the WNBA is 2.2 over those same 11 years. No, I don't think this is dirty. I think for the first time in the league's history, realistically, and all due respect to the league and the great players who have gone through the WNBA and established it to what it is now, this is the first time that across America, people are talking about the WNBA and watching the WNBA. It is not only being held in smaller arenas to far less than capacity crowds. So I say take your $200 million a year and and
be good with it.
Yes.
I mean, I get it. It's 11 years. So you're not going up after that. This is where you're stuck for 11 years, which I think is probably where you think, all right, well, maybe that's good now, but 5 years from now, or should we be worth more than that? The answer is maybe, but it's progress.
Yeah. The only reason I'd like to see that number be bigger is because I'd like to see player salaries increase.
Correct.
I mean, and that's not to say they aren't making living wages. They are. Plenty of people in America are making less than what they're making. They can live on what they're making. But it isn't in line with many other professional league and athlete salaries. Right? The Diana Taurasi's of the world do not have to go to Russia or overseas to play in the offseason. They don't have to. They have to live within modest means to avoid going overseas and playing in their offseason, but they don't have to. It's not like they're making $30,000 a year and can barely make ends meet. If they lived within certain means, they could make it work. Now, on the scale of comparison to other professional athletes, it's wildly below what they should be getting. But as we know, this is free market society, and players are going to be paid in terms of the revenue coming in to the league, right? No professional athlete is ever overpaid because these franchises aren't losing money.
Right.
Steph Curry making $45 million a year he's not overpaid. He is bringing in that and much, much more to the Warriors franchise. So we think those salaries are, my gosh, how could it possibly be worth it? He is. And I'd only like to see this number bigger because I'd like to see the players get paid at least a little bit closer to the scale of a lot of professional athletes.
Yeah. The thing that got me was you said they still make more than some people.
Well, they make a living wage.
I know. Here's my thing.
Okay.
When you are the greatest at what you do, you are in the top 5%, let's say, in your profession, you're making a lot more than they are. Top 5% of 10% of doctors,
no doubt,
engineers, teachers, broadcasters, you're all making more than they do.
No doubt.
All of them.
Yep.
So that's where I have the problem is like when you're that good at something in every other facet of life, outside of sports even, people are making more than they do.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, that's where I have the problem.
But a lot of those people who are getting paid what they're getting paid, they don't work for companies that are losing money.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'd have to start looking at bottom lines here, but my guess is the WNBA prior to this
I would say they might make money
has
for the
not
first
been
time
able
this year.
to pay players much more than what they're paying them.
I get it.
You know, again, this probably is not about the league and what players are getting paid. It's about more people buying in and supporting the league and TV rights deals and sponsorships and all of those types of things that then allow players to get paid appropriately. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good conversation to have.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen,
Keep it going.
Yes. Bronny James had a good game.
Hooray.
It was a decent game. He had 12 points and he made his first 3-pointers of the summer. He was 2 of 5 from deep. He was 0 of 15 before that. So 2 of 20, not great. And now this is kind of funny that he's taking on a good amount of money in Vegas to win Rookie of the Year. He has no chance to win Rookie of the Year, but the odds are so long, people think it's fun to throw some down on. 1 of 4 bets are being placed on Bronny James to win NBA Rookie of the Year. Now, this, I think, will further illustrate just how ridiculous and wide open this is. Zach Edey is the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. Zach Edey was thought as a second-round pick not all that long ago.
Right. There's got to be somebody else.
The number 2 overall pick, Alex Sarr, a couple of nights ago,
tore his Achilles.
No, it was 0 for 15.
Who tore his Achilles?
He took 15 shots and didn't score a single point. Zachary Rees-Archet, the top overall pick, has been DNPs a little bit here this summer.
There's got to be somebody.
You'll find someone who emerges.
Somebody from like a major basketball program who's going to see significant time, who had a better collegiate career than Bronny James.
Oh, well, I thought we were talking about Zach Edey here. Yeah. Okay.
Both of them. I mean, I don't know many people who had better careers than Zach Edey.
This was a very lackluster draft class.
Yeah, I get it. I just think there's got to be somebody.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm not going to put my money on him.
No, and the comments from JJ Redick made it sound like JJ Redick basically called him, a developmental player.
But that's my thing. Like, is he going to see the floor enough to even score? Say he averages 5 points a game in the NBA. Yeah. Is he going to play enough to even average 5 points a game in the NBA?
No.
My answer is no. He's not going to see the floor.
Yeah.
And if he does, he's not going to get shots because he's going to be passing it to his dad, who's jamming it in somebody's face. which is so wild.
Crazy.
Hey, your dad.
All right, we're back in a minute on Onorato Miller.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on. For cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair, you can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
Using the highest quality materials, artisanal craftsmanship, and creative design, we're ready to help bring the vacation experience to your own home. With custom-designed Legacy Edition pools, we're confident we can turn your backyard into your own personal oasis. And we'll be by your side through the whole process. Get outside this summer with Alpenhaus. Be sure to visit our brand new 16,000 square foot showroom expansion on Route 30 in Amsterdam. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs, Amsterdam and Clifton Park.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, Ash is going to play a little game here coming up on the show. I have no idea what it is. So
This is exciting. I didn't give
that'll
him
be interesting.
any clues, and I didn't write it in. We have like a little production board. I didn't write it in there because I want to see how your list, will give you a clue, compares to someone else's list.
I love lists.
Yeah,
So I think lists
They're
annoy some people.
No, I like them too.
Because they say, oh, you have nothing to talk about. You're just creating conversation.
That's fun. They're fun.
What do sports fans generally argue
Who's
about?
better than who?
That's
All
a
the time.
list.
All the time.
Even if it's 1 and 2,
Right.
that's a list.
Right.
So there's nothing more popular in sports conversation and argument than lists.
Yeah,
Okay,
who's
so
better?
we'll talk about we'll do some lists.
Mhm.
Let's do some lists now. Before we do that, NFL executives, coaches, and scouts voted here for the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. ESPN compiled this list, and here's the top 10. What stands out to you? What do you like? What don't you like? I mean, obviously, the list would lose complete merit right off the jump if Patrick Mahomes weren't number one,
Correct.
but he is. And so, really, after Mahomes,
Yeah.
you could make an argument for maybe
Yeah.
3-4 guys to be 2.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I agree. I think it's interesting because other than Mahomes, and this is just kind of how the league has gone this year or in the last 10 years, it's been so Chiefs heavy that we've seen Joe Burrow have success, but like a lot
And
of
he's
those
beating the Chiefs.
Yeah, a lot of those guys haven't won yet. You know what I mean? So like it's interesting, like won the big one yet. So there are so many guys
There are
on
only 3 guys on
on-
this list with a Super Bowl title.
right. So to say, and I get it, but to say there are top 10 quarterbacks, most of whom don't have a Super Bowl or some who haven't been to a Super Bowl,
Mhm.
I that is kind of shocking to me. But it's funny because how much do we talk about Josh Allen? How much do we talk about Lamar Jackson? How much do we talk about Justin Herbert?
Yep.
I mean, Stroud is obviously an up-and-comer, but so many of those guys, Dak Prescott, have either, and not underachieved, but have yet to win the big one. And
Only
in
half
some
of
ways
these
have
guys
underachieved.
have reached a Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
In some ways have underachieved. So that's why I'm like, like it's a decent list.
If you were picking quarterbacks, let's get an answer here. If you were picking quarterbacks and Mahomes is already off the board, who are you drafting next?
Boy, maybe Herbert, just because of his age and what I feel like is his ceiling. That's not a win this year thing. That's like a franchise QB thing. If I
Sure.
could have someone for the rest of their
How about
career,
to win this year? Does that change your answer?
yeah, probably, because it would probably be Joe Burrow.
Okay.
What about you?
I think if I had to win this
Yeah,
year,
okay, do both.
I think I would take Josh Allen.
Okay.
Nobody has scored more touchdowns or accounted for more touchdowns than Josh Allen since 2021 or whatever it is. Burrow's injury history scares me a little bit. I think he is like that ruthless, just maniacal competitor.
Mhm.
that allows him to win big games on the road the way he has. But if you're saying you get one guy for the next year, I would probably take Josh Allen. But
until
I
he
can't,
wins,
I can't make a really strong argument here for anybody at 2. Like
your next person.
Burrow's
to win.
there, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I can't make an argument that Allen, Jackson, Stafford, Herbert are better than Joe Burrow.
Right.
Can't.
Right. Listen, right now, CJ Stroud is outplaying most people for how long he's been in the league, but so much of this is unproven.
Now, do you think Aaron Rodgers is that low only because he's coming off the Achilles?
Probably.
If he had played last year, he would be top 5.
Probably.
Right?
Unless the Jets really didn't do him any favors, but yes, probably.
They've worked on that offensive line. They've got receivers. They have a good running back. It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, if Rodgers is healthy, and he certainly appears to be the way he's moving.
And Jared Goff outplayed most of the quarterbacks on this list last year.
Correct.
Most of them.
He's been to a Super Bowl. He took the Lions to a 24-7 halftime lead at the NFC Championship game last year. Yeah. Okay. Brock Purdy is not top 10, and he's had an incredible start to his career. One executive called him a really good system quarterback. Yeah. Is that a knock?
Of course it is. I mean, but listen, this is a conversation that we've had over and over. He's a game manager. He's a system quarterback. He will never shake this. I don't think it matters what he does in his career. He could win 2 or 3 Super Bowls, and I think this guy is just going to – that is how people see him and have titled him. And you know what? Who cares? If you win, who cares? He's already won a lot more games than most other quarterbacks who are – how old is he? 20?
Well, and to be the last pick of the entire draft.
And to outplay guys – I mean, he's dethroned guys who were supposed to – like Trey Lance, who was supposed to be the second coming, who they gave a huge contract – and basically move over Trey, Mr. Nobody's coming in to play for cheap and takes them further than Trey could have ever taken them. Yeah. So he's already had more success. Who cares what they call you?
They called Tom Brady a system quarterback forever also because the Patriots won their early titles on defense and they ran the ball well. And Brady didn't have to throw it a lot. And then when he did have to throw it a lot, he proved how great he is. So for a long time, the greatest quarterback in the history of the league was a system quarterback. I don't think it's a knock. I think it is an accurate description of how Brock Purdy is currently playing. He's got the highest paid and best running back in the league with him. He's got the most, maybe the most innovative offensive-minded coach in the NFL. And the defense has been good. And he's got weapons like crazy and Samuel and currently Ayuk and Kittle. And so it's not a knock. It's a fact.
Sure.
And that's okay.
Can you put up Sam's comment?
Yeah. His comment here on Purdy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know that that's fair only because how many of these players are not surrounded by quality skill position players? Like Patrick Mahomes, he can win a game. I'm not going to say he can win a game on his own.
He can. We've seen it.
He's got pretty darn good players on his teams. Aaron Rodgers has won a lot of games and has not been surrounded by as much quality, but there are plenty of guys in the league who have plenty of talent surrounding them who also cannot win games on their own.
Herbert is one of them.
Most of these players.
Some of these guys, it's like Herbert was unable to overcome the boneheaded decisions of Brandon Staley. And there was talent all over the field for the Chargers. But
Dak Prescott has had more talent, arguably, than, especially last year and the year before, than most other quarterbacks in the league and hasn't been able to win the big one. Yeah. So, I get a little bit, whatever. Like, you only play the cards you're dealt. He's playing the cards he's dealt. Trey Lance and whoever was in before him didn't do what he's doing. So you just do, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah.
I just don't like the idea that it's a knock. It's whatever it is. Who cares if it's a knock? Just go win games.
Correct.
Who cares?
Right. If he continues to play this way as a system quarterback, he's going to get $45 to $50 million a year.
Yeah. The good news is you don't have to win games on your own because it's not tennis.
Rockman says something nice about me.
Oh, yeah.
He likes the hat.
Uh-huh.
And then he says the Yankees will not win the World Series this year. Rockman just likes to poke the bear with Ashley here a little bit.
Of course. Percentages would say they will not win the World Series this year because there are plenty of other teams. Yep, you're right.
This would be a fun ALDS. That'd be a fun ALCS if we could get Yankees Orioles. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Can you imagine an electric Camden Yards? That would be fun. Like in the fall, cold.
So this happened this week in the NFL as well. Have you heard of Nick Miners? He signed a 4-year, $80 million extension with the Broncos.
That's big money. He's a guard, right?
He's an offensive guard and
with a big belly.
And they call him the Belly. They call him the Belly, and
that's a great name.
He's getting a bag. $80 million over 4 years for this former D3 player, which had us talking and thinking. And so I put together a list of some of the best D3 players in NFL history. Sam Mills, who is a college football Hall of Famer and a pro football Hall of Famer. Ali Marpet, who is the highest drafted D3 player ever. He was a second-round pick of the Bucks.
Was he?
Miners was a third-round pick.
Marpet came from
Hobart.
Yeah.
Yep. Miners is Whitewater, Wisconsin Whitewater.
Yep.
London Fletcher
has to be the greatest on this list, right?
Sam Mills.
Oh, how old is he? Would I remember him?
Panthers, Saints, most notably. He's a Hall of Famer. 90s.
London Fletcher could be a Hall of Famer.
Early 2000s, he could be.
I mean, not that means a lot.
Ken Anderson, quarterback for the Bengals.
Loved Pierre Garçon.
Pierre Garçon, who I misspelled his name. And Fred Jackson. It's IE. Fred Jackson, who played running back for the Bills. So there's the list of some D3 guys who have done big things in the NFL, but none have gotten $80 million contracts.
That's true.
The Belly.
The world is different.
Correct.
Some of those people would have gotten $80 million contracts had they played in 2024.
Yep. All right, back right after this on Onorato and Miller with a game.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bev's, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bev's. At the end of the day, if you walk in your stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
It's always a good time there. Doesn't matter where. It's always a good time there.
Play to win a 2024 Chevy Camaro convertible through June 29th. Celebrate 20 years of good times at Saratoga Casino Hotel.
It's always a good time.
Learn more at SaratogaCasino.com.
To try, it's always a good time.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
By the way, shows you how much I know about D3 football players. Ooh. Quinn Miners.
What did you call him?
Nick. Maybe I know a Nick Miner.
That would be only for you to know. I'm not sure.
All right.
Quinn.
We'll move on from that embarrassment and see if Ashley can embarrass me with this game she's got going.
I don't think you'll be embarrassed, but okay. We love lists. So when I saw this, I thought, let's see how close. ESPN did a top 100 athletes of the 21st century. So since the turn of the set. So January 1st, 2000 is your beginning date. It has to be any time after that. So Jordan's out.
Yep.
That's your number one guys off the board.
Yep.
Your top 100. So I'm going to see how many you can get in the top 10. Okay. So here's where, and I'm not saying.
Can I just start listing them, or you want me to really think about who's one, who's two, who's?
No, let's see how many you can get. I'm curious as to whether or not if we want you to play the game, you play it differently based on how you think they did it, or you're just going to give your top 10, and we'll see how. You give your top 10.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay.
Throw them out there.
All right. Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Woods.
These are not in order?
Not in order. I'm just rattle them off here.
Yep.
Brady, Tiger, Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, LeBron James. How many am I at?
You're at 5. You're doing a pretty good job thinking outside the box. So think of some fringe sports too.
Roger Federer. Be tough not to put Djokovic in there also. I'll put him in there. How about Sidney Crosby?
Okay. I like you giving hockey some love.
Well, I think they may be the most skilled professional athletes on the planet. You know, I don't know. I mean, are we going with like, he won't be, but I'm thinking like Shaun White, like somebody.
Ex-gamer?
Yeah.
An
Olympian.
I'll discourage you from that.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want a hint?
Sure.
Track and field.
Usain Bolt.
Yeah, I think we tend to sway like American, or because that's, you know, how our minds work. But yep.
How many do I have?
9. Let's see if somebody gives you a hint here.
Okay.
Oh, good guess.
Good guess. Sam says Katie Ledecky. She won't be on the list, but I like the guess. Boy, I only have one NFL player. Is Brady my only guy?
Yep.
Got to be somebody else from the NFL, right? But maybe not.
I
Some
don't
of those
know.
careers are short. Brady is easily the. I don't think those are my 9.
You good? We can call it.
Oh,
quits.
Sam, yes. Lionel Messi. Yes.
Sam, you better not be cheating.
Thank you, Sam. Good one. Those will be my 10.
That's 10. All right.
How many of them are in the ESPN top 10?
8.
Okay, who's not? Djokovic is not. He's won more Grand Slam titles than anybody in the sport. And he has a dominant winning record over Roger Federer. And he's not in the top 10. I don't care
Oh my
if
God.
Federer was almost on his way out in some of those matches. Djokovic played in a more competitive men's age of singles tennis than Roger Federer when Federer was racking them up in the early 2000s. The only competition was Andy Roddick.
Listen, to be fair, Federer came out of your mouth much quicker than Djokovic
Well, of
did.
course.
And you said, I'll put Djokovic in. But you're getting real wild about Djokovic not being in. He's just outside. I think he's like 11 or 12.
I can't wait to see who. And no Sidney Crosby.
No Sid.
Is there a single hockey player? What a joke.
There is not.
Sidney Crosby, after Gretzky, was the most skilled player we had ever seen on the ice. Now, we can talk about Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews. All that's fine. Crosby was great for Canada in the Olympics, and he led the Penguins to multiple cups.
Didn't see the list, Sam says. So the 2 you missed. Do you want to start there?
Sam also had Simone Biles on there. That's a good one.
Simone is in. I don't love it. Simone is in. And this is going to sound terrible. Kobe Bryant is in. Kobe Bryant is 10, which it feels a little bit like the surrounding circumstances can get you in. And Simone would be similar to that. Like overcoming.
Well, Simone is, I mean, she's probably the greatest Olympic gymnast of all time.
She's like tied.
Michael Phelps is the greatest Olympian of all time.
She's basically tied as like the greatest American gymnast of all time. She's close to it.
Yeah.
But still, like her career is not done. It feels like that was a little bit tough for me to. But yeah, so Kobe and Simone are the only 2 you missed. Kobe, Usain, so we're going backwards. 9. Tiger's 8. Simone is 7.
Wait a minute. Simone Biles is a greater athlete in the 21st century than Tiger Woods?
I don't know. I mean, listen, one would argue it takes a lot more skill and athleticism to do what she's doing than to do what he's doing, or he did. Gymnastics is harder. I'm not saying that that's the reason. Federer 6, Brady 5, LeBron 4, Messi 3, Serena 2, Michael Phelps 1. Got any problems with the order?
Yeah, I don't understand the criteria.
Well,
Is it greatest athletes in terms of their physical skill and ability?
I'm sure not, but
Or is it that combined with their winning and everything else? Because Michael Phelps can't be the greatest athlete of all. LeBron James would do circles around Michael Phelps as an athlete. Phelps is good in a pool. Have we seen him run, jump, do anything hand-eye coordinated?
I think you probably got to, I mean, he probably lifts weights, runs, and
Sure.
swims.
Okay, but can he do that at an elite level like a LeBron James?
Yeah, but his is very sports specific. I think you're being a little bit.
But that's my question here: are we talking athletic?
Well, my guess
overall
is it's
skill,
my guess
or-
is it's not that because
Go ahead, because Tom
with
Brady
Brady
went
at
through
5,
Uh-huh.
I don't know that I think they're downplaying the athleticism thing. If we were talking athlete, he'd probably be at 10 or whatever. And if we weren't talking athletic skill, he'd probably
He could
be number 1.
one.
Yeah. But listen, when you talk 28 Olympic medals,
Yeah.
that's something that like he's blown
that how
out of
many
the
he
water.
has?
28-time Olympic medalist.
What,
Like
does he have 18 gold, something crazy like that.
23 golds.
23 gold.
So like what? Who's better than that?
Well, nobody.
Nobody's
in
done
that,
it better ever
Nobody
in their life.
Nobody in water is better. No.
But have you seen what he looks like? I mean, he
Sure.
looks like an athlete.
Well, he is
More athletic than the rest of us, that's for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Yes, LeBron James could dribble a basketball in circles around him and maybe run faster than him and
Mhm.
dunk on him.
Mhm.
But LeBron he could probably swim 65 laps when LeBron gets across the pool once. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's all relative.
Okay.
But that was fun. You did a bang up job with a little help from Sam.
Messi, I should have gotten. That's on me. I'm not going to defend the Simone Biles pick here.
No, I agree.
If
I
she's
wouldn't
in,
either.
she's in. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I feel good about Sidney Crosby. You don't put Djokovic in, fine.
Mhm.
But I feel good about Sidney Crosby. I think he should be in there.
I don't disagree. Hockey was very underrepresented.
I'm sure.
In
I mean,
the top 100.
and I wonder if.
like Connor McDavid was in like the mid 90s.
So I would like to know who the highest rated hockey player is on that list, and I'll
Sidney
look it up.
Crosby.
Okay. I was going to wonder if it was Ovechkin over him. It
No,
shouldn't be. But
It was Crosby.
Okay.
Like Charles Woodson, I just remember being 100. He was the 100th.
I love Charles Woodson.
Connor McDavid was mid 90s, early to mid 90s.
I can't believe Tiger's as low as he's low. And I know that there were victories that came 97 to 99.
Yes.
I get that.
Yeah.
And I understand there was the long drought after 08. I get it.
Mhm.
But from 2000 to 2008, that guy was as dominant as any athlete we had seen in any discipline. All right.
Yeah.
Back in a minute.
Teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through products and purpose. Claim your crown.
Imagine coming home and slipping into your own personal hot tub from Wellness Spas. Our team at Alpenhaus wants to help you relax and enjoy the advantages of owning your very own hot tub. Visit us at Clifton Park Center in our newly expanded showroom on Route 30 in Amsterdam.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
It's funny. I say how much I enjoy lifts, and then generally
so
they start to frustrate me.
Because they don't agree.
I still enjoy them. There's always there's always something about a list that bothers me, and
it was Djokovic first, and then Simone second, and Tiger way down 8th.
Can't hold back. Team USA's 3-0 so far. This is men's hoops. Ash, is this squad a lock to win gold in Paris?
No. A lock? Nothing about, I don't feel anything about Team USA in the recent past has been a lock.
Well, they're going for their 5th straight gold medal.
They haven't made it look as easy as they have in past years.
True.
Plus, you have people who, we now have some of the best players in the NBA who are playing for other teams. Canada, Serbia, like you've got guys like Nikola Jokic.
France is good. Spain is good. Australia is good. Yep.
It feels like all these countries have gotten powerful NBA players to play for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're a lock.
Okay.
But name me who's going to win. Probably the U.S. Lock feels strong.
This team should...
And they're finally all playing. That's another thing.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
LeBron has played. This is Steph's first run at it. This team should not play a game closer than
15.
3 possessions.
Oh.
So 7 points. There should not be a game closer than 7 points in this.
Okay. So they're not going to lose, but
they're not going to lose.
They won't win by fewer than 7. All right.
Yeah. Women are a lock.
They're always a lock, right? I mean, feels like it.
Yeah, women are a lock. We're counting down to the games for the 518 fans. Jimmer and 3x3. I hope the men 3x3 get to the gold medal game.
To give us
this is a far from a lock to win 3x3.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I really do hope they get to the gold medal game.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean,
depends on what time
I'll try to watch all the games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun sport. I'm not saying if you put it on every weekend, I would be glued to it, but I'll watch as much of this as I can.
And the timing should work for you, because even if it's in like prime time, which it shouldn't be, I wouldn't think it's going to be 5-6 hours earlier here. So you shouldn't be sleeping during it.
I won't be at work though either, and neither will you as they play these games.
Oh yeah, true.
So we'll try to find them anyway. Saratoga rowing Olympians, Christy Wagner, Lauren O'Connor from the Saratoga Rowing Association are part of the double sculls for Christy and the quadruple sculls for Lauren O'Connor in Paris. And those events start July 27th. So really the first full day of games. And then Rudy Winkler from Averill Park.
Rudy!
So we've got a lot to look forward to when the games start up in Paris. Opening ceremony on Friday, July 26th.
I believe Grace Claxton is running for Puerto Rico.
Oh, good. Okay. I was not up on her.
I believe she is.
I love that then. Awesome. Olympics a week from now. Thanks for watching Onorato and Miller. Everybody have a great weekend.